So, hey, sis, let's talk about one of the biggest causes of stress that nobody seems to be calling out. Now, it's not procrastination, it's not time management, it's not even a lack of information, and it's definitely not a discipline issue. While all of those everybody's talking about, there is something that we all do that causes stress in our lives. And it's a habit, it's a way of responding to what's happening. And what is that causes the biggest issue? Avoidance. That's right, avoidance. We avoid those things that are painful. We avoid those things that are going to be hard or difficult. We avoid, and therefore it causes us to be stressed. Now, hear me clearly. You can pray about a thing all day long. But if you refuse to face that thing, it will still be an issue because prayer alone is not enough if you're not willing to face whatever it is. So, if you are refusing to face it, of course, it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to become more of a problem than if you had dealt with it in the first place. So, avoidance causes lots of stress. And what am I talking about? You're avoiding that conversation because you've labeled it as difficult or painful or it's going to hurt you. You avoid your bank account because you're afraid of what the numbers might say. Or you're avoiding going to the doctor, making an appointment because you're afraid of what may be going on. And worse yet, most of us in our 50s, we are avoiding the mirror. We know our body is changing, but we don't want to face it. So we put our Spanx on. We do everything to cover it up so that we are not having to address what's really going on. And the thing about avoidance, why it causes stress, is because we physically think we're not dealing with that thing or that issue. But here's what I want you to understand: you're dealing with it every day. You're dealing with it in your thoughts. Why? Because you're running the story. I call it a story loop. You're running the story loop over and over again in your mind. So, therefore, you are dealing with it, just not in a way that's going to help you. Because when we keep stuff in our mind, it's always worse than what it really is. We've made up this story that's causing us to be stuck. That's telling us I can't have that conversation because it's going to be too painful. I can't call that bill collector because I'm going to die if I have this conversation. I can't schedule the appointment to go see the doctor because I don't want to hear what they're going to say about my blood pressure, right? So now you're making up this story. The story loop is going over and over and over again, and it's causing dis-ease in your body. That's stress. That's why you feel tired. That's why you feel overwhelmed and frustrated. And you're telling yourself, I can't handle this. This is way too much. That story right there, that story is the cause of your stress. It's not your bank account. It's not your job. It's not your boss. It's not your employees. It's not your husband. It's not the dog. It's not the neighbor. It's not the stranger. It's the story that you've been telling yourself about that situation. Now, once you change the story, let me set you free, sis, you will then feel empowered to do something. You won't avoid your bank account because the story is different. Now you'll be curious to see what's going on and what can I do about it. You won't avoid the conversation. In fact, you'll lean into the person and say, hey, sis, can we talk? Hey, dude, can we talk? Right? Because now you're feeling empowered because you've changed the story in your head. And I want you to understand this. If you do not change the story, meaning that you don't change your perspective, you don't change your approach. Pray all day long if you want to, but if you still have the same jacked up, messed up story in your head, nothing will change. Why? Because you'll avoid it. You have to understand avoidance is a habit. At some point, it served us. Yep. At some point, I could avoid a thing and it was like good. And then you keep on avoiding, it's like bad, right? And so we built up this habit. And it's hard to break a habit if we won't admit it. So the first step is Admit that you have an avoidance habit. Admit that you have an avoidance problem. And guess what? Now you're on the road to decrease your stress. Now you're on the road to stop being stuck and become unstuck. And once you become unstuck, you are then on the path to become unstoppable. So here's the one thing that I want you to do today. One, admit. Admit that you've been avoiding those difficult conversations. Admit that you haven't been looking in the mirror because you don't know what to do about your weight. You don't know what to do about your health. Admit that you haven't opened the app to check your bank account. Admit it. And then accept that that's where you are. Don't judge it. Don't criticize yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't get stuck in that. Just admit it. And then be willing to take, here it is, not 5 steps, not 3 steps, but 1 step. Whatever you've been avoiding, ask yourself, what is it? And what is that one thing that you can do today? I guarantee you, one thing, 1 step will set you free. But first, you have to admit, I am an avoider. Okay, sis, now what you gonna do about it? Be blessed.